The internet is one of the most hostile places in the world, with random people saying some of the most craziest replies you won't believe. I mean, when was the last time you scrolled through the YouTube comment section or Twitter and saw something that didn't make you think twice? Probably really recently. Welcome to trolling, where people just comment random stuff because, well, they can, and who's gonna catch them? Well, fear not, everyday citizen, because we here at Top5Central are taking the case and are gonna show you 5 internet trolls who got caught. Now, leave a like on the video if you've ever trolled someone on the internet, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. It's free. Number 5. Now, most people have had to deal with some form of internet hate at some point in their life, but I don't think there's any denying that some people get it worse than others. I mean, Charlotte Dawson is just a normal Australian TV host, but she was bombarded with hate over Twitter just for doing her job. In fact, the abuse got so bad that she actually attempted suicide, and the hate got even worse while she was trying to recover. So how'd she handle it? Well, she attacked the trolls right back by posting where they all worked over Twitter and confronting them in real life. Not surprisingly, none of them were as brave face to face as they were on the internet, and all of them complained that the hate they were now getting was upsetting. With that said, one dude just couldn't bring himself to apologize, and said that all the Gen Ys were just desensitized to abuse. So let's try a quick experiment. If you're around the same age as this guy, let me know in the comments whether you think his behavior is totally normal or not.
Nice to meet you.
Charlotte Dawson meets one of the trolls who sent her abusive messages on Twitter while she recovered from a suicide attempt.
I suppose the first thing I want to say is, because I'm face to face with you now. If I turn around and said, "F you," how do you feel?
20-year-old Jordan Maguire sends messages like that to people he doesn't know on Twitter from behind the safety of his keyboard.
They're just things that I say. They're things that I say on Twitter, and Twitter isn't real life.
But for the troll's targets, it's very real and almost caused Charlotte to end her life.
Number 4. There's no guessing how many trolls are out there in the world today, but it goes without saying that most of them never face any kind of consequences. With that said, it turns out there's only so far you could go before someone tries to stop you, and if you're bad enough, your trolling can result in jail time. Like, you might be thinking that's kind of extreme, but I think this guy might have deserved it. I mean, he didn't have a job, he just sat at home finding profiles of teenagers who had died in tragic ways. I'm not joking, some had committed suicide, some had died from illness, some had even been shot and killed, but he just saw them as a way to have a little fun. He posted memes and videos about the victims on their pages and to their families, and caused so much hurt that when another innocent kid was accused of making the post, they tried to kill themselves as well. After all that, it's not really surprising that he wound up with 18 weeks in jail. In fact, I would have put him away for way more.
But we decided to try and track one down. We met a source who's familiar with the trolling community, and he gave us information about a notorious troll. The troll's screen name is Nimrod Severn.
On this pen drive is the evidence of what this troll, Nimrod Severn, has been up to. And really he's just popping up on loads of RIP tribute sites and leaving really offensive messages. But some of them are extremely racist and quite possibly illegal.
On Boxing Day last year, Lancaster University student Anuj Bidve was murdered here. A memorial page.
On this pen drive is the evidence of what this troll, Nimrod Severn, has been up to. And really he's just popping up on loads of RIP tribute sites and leaving really offensive messages. But some of them are extremely racist and quite possibly illegal.
Number 2. It seems to be a trend that people who get caught trolling will say anything to justify their behavior, so I wasn't actually shocked when this woman tried to do that too. Like, this same girl had been harassing the same celebrity for 2 years straight, but when she was actually called out for her behavior in person, she didn't even bat an eyelid. So how'd she justify it? Well, she said that since celebrities were quote-unquote living their life in the public eye, they'd obviously decided to become public property. According to her, that meant she could say whatever she wanted, and the celebrity was actually in the wrong for paying attention to it. Listen, celebrities are people too, so obviously that makes no sense, since the woman was begging for attention by sending constant abuse. But in my opinion, it's kind of crazy that she could just literally stare at the woman she had been harassing forever and not feel bad at all. But I'm guessing she got her own fair share of trolling once this show came out, so karma to the rescue, I guess.
You've been derogatory, you've been abusive. You're a troll. And you've trolled me for 2 years. Do you feel proud of yourself when I read them out to you?
You lot are celebrities.
Yeah.
You are the public's properties. You lot have chosen to have a career
So
where your life is in the public eye.
Hold on.
A lot of celebrities receive tweets every day. They are not going around making TV shows about it. They just deal with it.
Okay, here's our honorable mention. So the weird thing about this next guy is that he's obsessed with the idea that trolling isn't bullying, and because he isn't targeting anybody, his words aren't harmful at all. He even said, and this is like the really crazy thing, that he was completely fine with his wife and children being sent death threats because that's just the price of free speech. That is already pretty out there, I know, but then things get downright hypocritical. Why? Well, this guy refused to give out even his screen name because people knowing his identity might mean he gets targeted for abuse. Totally ridiculous, I know, but this guy thought he was being totally logical. In fact, I can't even tell you what kind of things he thought were okay to say, since they're so offensive, they couldn't be read out on TV. To give you a clue though, he thought making jokes about people who were crushed to death in super famous tragedies was pretty funny, and he thought joking about toddlers who were kidnapped and murdered was hilarious too. Classy, am I right?
You've got a distinction, haven't you, between trolling
yes.
and cyberbullying. You think the distinction's very important, so just explain that to me.
Trolling is entertainment. Yes, it's basically winding someone up. Cyberbullying is completely different and is as illegal as any other type of bullying.
So you're saying what you do is okay because you're not terrorising someone, you're just insulting them, basically.
Correct. I'm there to insult their intelligence, and I'm there to upset the apple cart.
Just tell me some of the things that you've posted.
Number 1. Okay, so we've looked a lot at how far you have to push trolling before the law gets involved, but how it works in this story is even more interesting. I mean, this dude is British, so British laws applied to him, but because his audience was mostly American, it was Americans who tried the hardest to track him down. Here's the thing, school shootings don't really happen in the UK, so if this guy was making jokes about that happening in England somewhere, people would assume it was just a joke. The thing is, this dude was dumb enough to say he was planning to do something at specific American schools, which is something, you know, America takes very serious. Anyway, because he had been threatening students and then himself, the American cops tracked down his computer to see if he was a threat. When the results revealed he was actually miles away in North England and not a threat at all, they could have let it go, but instead they decided to pass on the info and have him arrested anyway. Just goes to show, no matter how far away you are physically from the people you're threatening, chances are karma will catch up with you eventually.
It is, Michael. 24-year-old Reese Elliott was sentenced to 2 years and 4 months in prison for posting abusive remarks on a Facebook page meant to be a tribute to a 17-year-old girl that was killed in a car crash in Tennessee. The postings, which were made under a pen name, included threats to shoot hundreds of school children, something that's taken very seriously in the United States given the history there. So authorities actually kept thousands.
And there's a video on the top 5 internet trolls who got caught. If you enjoyed the video and you've been trolled before, or you want to find someone who's been trolling you, leave a like on the video and comment the full story. I would love to hear it. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you get notified every single time we upload a video. We're trying to keep our upload schedule at around 4 uploads per week, so Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so make sure you sub, it's free. Thank you all so much for watching, hope you enjoyed, have a beautiful rest of your day, and we'll see you all in the next video.